Continuing from the previous episode 1945. What the asterisk is going on? Looking at this extremely mysterious forest area, and seeing the bustling ancient trees with humble attitudes crawling quietly like a servant, Xiaoyan couldn't help muttering. Not to mention that the substantive murderous aura of the hundreds of monsters in the emerald green passage just now was quelled by this sound, plus all the power in his own body that came into this forest failed, and the Xiao clan in his body had all failed. The restlessness of the bloodline, etc., in Xiaoyan's body, countless questions plagued him, but now the situation, obviously, can only take one step at a time. After all, here is the demon emperor guiding him to come. This guy should not harm him. Come here. A light voice sounded slowly in Zaidu, and the voice twisted and flowed out from the depths of this forest. As soon as the voice came out, everything fell silent, the demonic energy in the entire forest went silent, and countless lush life breaths swept out, nourishing Xiaoyan's body, making Xiaoyan feel like a spring breeze, extremely warm. Let's go and have a look. After thinking for a while, there was no result. Xiaoyan could only move slowly. Wing Om. Walking along the way, along the forest path surrounded by countless flowers, plants and trees, Xiaoyan could feel the countless ancient auras on both sides. In addition to the demonic aura, there were also many tyrannical auras. His breath, among those breaths, there was actually less hostility and more gentle and familiar fluctuations, which were extraordinarily friendly. Crash! With a sound, the sound of calm water flow emerged, and the forest path also came to an end. At first glance, in this plain lake, the water surface was crystal clear, but the lake water exuded a special fragrant and suspicious. Strange. Where did that sound come from? Xiaoyan stood blankly on the edge of the lake without stepping into it rashly, and glanced away. Who? Xiaoyan's eyes were just looking at the mysterious lake in front of him, and he suddenly saw a piece of land that was only about 100 meters in size in the center of the lake. And that piece of land was bizarrely floating on the surface of the lake, and even a stele several tens of feet high stood in it, and at this time, the golden rays of light danced like leaves on this piece of land. Wang buzzing. At this moment, Xiaoyan's body, the blood of the Xiao clan was violently tumbling, as if there were their Xiao clan people around. Fangying in the body did not know what force was pulling it, and it turned out to be running fast. The most bizarre thing is that the amber rock's soul fire and the immortal flame fused with 4 color flames in Xiaoyan's body, both of them diffused out of Xiaoyan's body uncontrollably, and immediately suspended tremblingly in front of Xiaoyan's chest. The monstrous fighting spirit is vented. And the source of all this seems to be just the mysterious land in the center of the lake. Come here. Just when Xiaoyan was extremely puzzled, a golden beam of light emerged from the land of the lake easily, and immediately brought Xiaoyan's body and came directly here. What's the situation? Just when he came to the land in the center of the lake with the help of this mysterious power, Xiaoyan found that there was something else besides a stone tablet that stood up from ancient times. And this stele is nothing special, it's just the same as any other stele, but it makes Xiaoyan feel that the stele has another mystery. Xiaoyan, the descendant of the Xiao family, pays respects to the senior. After a glance, he found nothing. Xiaoyan clasped his fists and respectfully opened his mouth to the stone tablet in front of him. Quote. However, after a long time, no voice responded to Xiaoyan, and even the original voice that guided Xiaoyan disappeared. Wang buzzing. At this time, the amber rock's soul fire and immortal flame all over Xiaoyan's body burst out with a solemn aura, and immediately stared at the back of the stone tablet. Zhu! Xiaoyan followed and saw that there was nothing unique about it. Just when he was about to turn his head, 2 groups of flames burst out, and there seemed to be something behind the stone tablet. Being attacked like this by the second group, at this time, behind this seemingly innocuous stone tablet, a golden beam of light loomed. Come out! Xiaoyan just glanced over, and suddenly cold sweat broke out involuntarily, and snorted coldly. Peefed! Xiaoyan's shout just fell, and the golden light beam behind the stone tablet slowly fell off, and immediately flew towards Xiaoyan. Not good. Seeing this, Xiaoyan cursed in his heart, but he couldn't care about other things at this time. After all, when he entered this mysterious forest, his power seemed to be sealed, and he couldn't take the initiative to use it. Shasha! The golden light group suddenly stopped when it was close to Xiaoyan, and immediately under Xiaoyan's stunned gaze, the golden light slowly dissipated, revealing its original appearance. This is a map. To be precise, it is an incomplete map. On the map, countless ancient and complex characters were recorded, which Xiao Yan had never heard of before. Adding in some other scenery, Xiao Yan frowned and thought for a while. What the asterisk is this? Could it be that this is what our seniors of the Xiao clan left behind? Xiao Yan did not rush to catch this map, but looked at it carefully. This is a yellowed remnant picture. I am afraid it is quite old, and in addition to some complicated words, there are 3 figures. The 3 figures stood on the left, with their hands raised high and the corners of their mouths slightly open, as if they were chanting some ancient incantation. On the other side, you can also vaguely see 3 pairs of arms raised like them seems to be carrying out some kind of ancient sacrifice, but the map on the right looks like it is missing and mutilated. This residual image should be divided into left and right halves, and the one in front of Xiao Yan is the left part. After looking at it, I found that where the center of the map was divided, a round object like a scorching sun was hanging on it, and the whole was at the highest point dragged by everyone's hands. Peeved, Xiao Yan still wanted to wait and see, but the soul realm in his body was violently tumbling. Obviously, the true face of this thing has exceeded the limit that Xiao Yan can sense now. If he continues to explore rashly, I am afraid. Oops! Just when Xiao Yan gave up in doubt, Amber Yan's soul fire was not under Xiao Yan's control. He held his breath and slammed into this remnant picture. Don't! Xiao Yan roared, but found that he couldn't control Amber Flame's soul fire at all. Wang hum! With a sound, the ancient Sanskrit sound slowly emerged, and with the action of Amber Flame's soul fire, a scorching heat beyond heaven and earth swept out from the 3 figures on this map. But the scorching sun that hung high was falling off little by little. The golden firefox was added with golden ancient patterns, like a real god's mansion descending. That kind of oppressive power made Xiao Yan unable to help but worship. Golden flame? 6 figures correspond to 6. Could this be the reincarnation flame of the heavenly Tao ranked 3rd on the holy flame list? How is that possible? Looking at the golden fiery fox that suddenly appeared above the yellowed ancient map, Xiao Yan's whole body softened, and he was directly suppressed by this terrifying aura that surpassed the sky and the earth. But his looking at this remnant with a complex expression and shocking eyes, it caused a monstrous wave in my heart. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 1946. How is that possible? Xiao Yan stared at the golden firefox in front of him in a stunned manner. At this time, the countless forces in his body surrendered quietly, and he could not arouse any aura of rebelliousness and resistance at all. Not to mention the 3rd place on the Sacred Flame ranking, even if it is the top 10 on the Sacred Flame ranking, the coercion and power possessed by each Sacred Flame is definitely not something that Xiao Yan can resist. Little guy, you have a pretty good sense of smell and strength. Just as Xiao Yan's shock in his heart slowly calmed down, and when he was about to find a way to solve the situation here, the golden arc of fire was slowly shaking, and instantly he turned into a white-haired old man and appeared in front of Xiao Yan. The white-haired old man's complexion was soft, his white hair covered most of his body, and the smiling old man Xiao Yan, even if it was an energy body, gave Xiao Yan the coercion and intimacy that could not be resisted. Descendants of the Xiao clan, Junior Xiao Yan, meet the seniors. Seeing the appearance of this old man, Xiao Yan immediately respected. Being able to enter here, it should be with the help of the Demon Emperor, but this also means that you have the blood of our Xiao family. Otherwise, even if you are as strong as the Demon Emperor, you will not be able to cross that barrier. Without hesitation, he looked at Xiao Yan carefully, and said in a deep voice. After looking at it, the old man kept nodding his head, as if he was extremely satisfied with Xiao Yan, whether it was his strength or soul power. The Demon Emperor has been broken, and now the demon world is reunifying. The younger generation obeys the Demon Emperor and comes to retrieve what we have left behind from the Xiao family. Xiao Yan stared at the old man in front of him, his voice extremely humble and contained a trace of it. Fiery. What exactly will this senior Xiao clan leave behind? Moreover, judging from the identity and strength of this guy's status in the Xiao clan is definitely not low, and Xiao Yan's heart became extremely hot for a while. Cough cough. Don't look at me like that. Seemingly aware of Xiaoyan's fiery gaze, the old man muttered slowly, then coughed a few words, and turned to Xiaoyan maliciously. You don't have to have such high expectations. When you parted ways with the Demon Emperor, you didn't leave much behind when you left, and the thing in front of you is what I left behind. After Xun'er, the old man narrowed his eyes and looked at the yellowish ancient picture had an unusually deep and weird voice. This is the third-ranked reincarnation flame of the Holy Flame ranking, but why are there any traces of incompleteness? Xiaoyan also said depressedly. That's right, this thing is the reincarnation flame of the Heavenly Tao, the third in the Holy Flame ranking. Although it's only normal, don't underestimate it. You will really know the mystery in it in the future, but remember that the strength is less than 8-star fighting immortal, and you must not touch it. After all, this thing is extremely precious by the old asterisk in Ludao. The old man, there was a deep fear in his voice. 8 stars fighting immortals, the third holy flame, the 6 paths? Xiaoyan nodded lightly, naturally aware of the importance of the matter, but he was still somewhat disappointed. After all, this trip to the demon world had achieved very little, and the biggest gain might have been it is the Demon Emperor and the King of all beasts, who have laid a solid foundation for his future power. As for his personal strength, it would be a bit tasteless to improve his personal strength. However, at least the chaotic fighting chi in Xiaoyan's body was neutralized, and it was also raised to the level of the middle stage of the 7-star fighting immortals. Okay, little guy, this holy flame is a bit special. The time is right in the future, you must get it, and my current state is quite strange, so I can't leave you too much help. Otherwise, once those guys find out, I'm afraid our Xiao clan the last ray of hope will be completely extinguished. You keep this remnant. In addition, there is a chance to go to the underworld, which is also a major stronghold of our Xiao family. All the mysteries will be solved in the underworld, the old man said. Xun'er takes orders. But what is the so-called guardian of the Xiao clan? Xiaoyan nodded solemnly. Xiaoyan, the guardian. I'm ashamed to say that during the First World War, although we expelled the foreign evil clan, the top powers led by our Xiao clan consumed too much power. In the end, our Xiao clan was harmed by traitors. The world's first race disappeared silently, and in the end, they had no choice but to aggrieve them. They guard the things that are related to the safety of the entire Daqin world. Our Xiao family were so ruthless at the last moment. In fact, all this was forced. If they were not ruthless at the time, the guardians would be imprisoned and suppressed with us. Heaven and earth will fall into a real panic. You go on this trip. Be sure to make amends on my behalf. It is our Xiao clan who are sorry for them. A slightly apologetic voice of self-blame emerged from the old man's mouth. Xun'er understands. Xiaoyan nodded solemnly. Okay, let's give you one last gift. Summon the immortal fire and immortal flames out of your body. Here, you will realize immortality and immortality, reaching an immortal state like a demon emperor. At the last moment, the old man's voice was full of endless coercion. Yes! Wang buzzing. Xiaoyan nodded lightly. Immortal fire and immortal yan left the body at the same time, and immediately crawled down quietly. 2 little guys, we meet again. The second group of Saint Flames just appeared, and the old man smiled, as if the two had seen each other for a long time. Go! With a wave of his hand, the second group of holy flames slowly roared away at the unremarkable stone tablet under the control of the old man. Boom! A violent tremor emerged in this world immediately. The sky-high demonic energy and the thick life breath slowly emerged from the stone tablet. The flame pattern of the steel is engraved on the stone steel, and some complicated demon characters are added to set off the stone steel like an ancient fetish, which is extremely mysterious. Next, it's up to you whether you can perceive immortality or immortality. The mission of this energy clone can be considered completed. The center of the human world and many of the guys who have done bad things, sooner or later, our Xiao clan will take back our former glory and let you all crawl under fear. Just wait. Yu Yin curled up. The figure of the old man slowly turned into countless rays of light, immediately decorated the remnant picture, and quietly poured into Emperor Xiaoyan's flame ring after resting. As for Xiaoyan, he had already closed his eyes at this time and seemed to have entered a special area when his eyes were just fixed on the stone tablet. This. What place? Xiaoyan muttered slowly, but only endless echoes responded to him. Immortal. 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 One breath remains. the two flames refine the heart, unbreakable. One after another ancient voices violently impacted Xiaoyan's heart and soul, and Xiaoyan's whole body was shocked. As if he had noticed something, he sat up directly in the void, and the second group Shengyan kept lingering on Xiaoyan's body and on the steel, squirming back and forth, with an indescribable terrifying force between them. Like an ancient giant standing in the sky, that kind of breath is invincible and indestructible. I don't know how long it will take, but Xiaoyan's body and even his body have indeed become weird because of this thing. It is the power of immortality and immortality, mysterious and unmatched. Full book. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 1947. Time flies, Xiaoyan is still quietly in the cave of demons, slowly comprehending immortality and immortality. As time goes by, Xiaoyan's comprehension of immortality and immortality is becoming more and more comprehensible. The present is not what it used to be. As for the demon world, under the management of their respective demon kings, they are restoring their proper vitality in an orderly manner to prepare for the real war in the future. And with the huge movement in the demon realm, the two demon suppression prisons collapsed at the same time, and the entire Great Thousand World involuntarily became vigilant. The news that the two demon emperors, 2 white kings and 1 red king, had fallen into the hands of the demon emperors in the 2 towns and the demon emperors, also spread completely. For a time, the illustrious names of the demon emperors in the past were also being spread. In the ghost world, Host, the demon emperor of the demon world, has resurfaced. In the past, the Lord of Li Sol once participated in the 3 realms sealing plan. I am worried that the demon emperor might attack us in the Li Sol realm. Should we prepare early? After all, the power of the demon realm controlled by the demon emperor is definitely not we are now comparable to Li Hanyu. The quiet hall shook slowly in the void, and a dark shadow slowly emerged. This guy is obviously Duo Chifei's confidant who was promoted later. He looks handsome, and the ghostly energy around him is extremely terrifying, and his strength has reached the rank of 8 stars. At this time, in the silent hall, an elegant figure sat quietly on a throne, her beautiful eyes slowly closing, as if she was closing her eyes and resting in peace. The throne is quite beautiful, but there are countless gray thunders on it, and that kind of power turns out to be the taste of reincarnation. In a short while, Master will wake up completely, and then we will have enough qualifications to touch those things. As for the demon world, according to the information I have obtained, the demon emperor's lover was arrested, and his strength is extremely weak because he has just broken the seal, so he will naturally not do anything to us for a while. Fangying on the throne bit her teeth and said solemnly, obviously even if now, with his own strength, when dealing with the demon emperor, he is also quite heartbroken. After all, the power of the Thunder Lord has not been completely reincarnated, otherwise once it is completely reincarnated, with Du Qifei and Lei Lord both, even if they are the demon emperor, I am afraid can only temporarily avoid the edge. But, Wang, I'm just worried. At this moment, the Shadow Guard didn't dare to say any more, and slowly shook his head. How is the Lord of Li Sol now? After thinking for a while, Du Qifei couldn't help but ask. Deprived of strength, there will be no trace of rebellion, and living in that area has been much quieter over the years. The Shadow Guard said, that's good. There will be a good place for him. Du Qifei also nodded. By the way, Wang, there is one thing that my subordinates don't know whether to say or not. After a moment of hesitation, the Shadow Guard said, let's talk. Duo Qifei waved her hand quite elegantly, and the arc of thunder on her body jumped, outlining its graceful curve. The Soul Palace has been in close contact with the kingdom of 10,000 ghosts recently, and with the fall of the 2 towns and prisons, the scope of the activities of the extraterritorial evil race has become more and more obvious. I am afraid that it will not be long before the cracks in the plane will be completely shattered. The Shadow Guard worryingly, when he mentioned the crack in the plane, his body couldn't help shaking. Give it to me. Also, dispatch enough people to keep an eye on the endless fire territory. Du Qifei shook her head helplessly. Obviously, her reincarnation power now has to face these things, and he can't escape. Wang, that kid, how can he do and he Neng? Hearing the words of Fangying on the throne, the Shadow Guard became agitated, blushed, and his heart beat faster. He couldn't help shouting. If he dies, Master will not be able to recover. Let's go. At this moment, behind Btth2, one after another extremely bright gray thunder filled the air, accompanied by the last voice, expelled the shadow guards, but the last sentence, I don't know if it was for him, said, it is still a lie to the shadow guard, then it is still unknown. Ghost Realm's Soul Eater. Master, endless fire territory has been taken care of by many of our subordinates. Once there is any change, we will notify you as soon as possible. At this time, in a rather quiet forest under Soul Eater territory, Btth2 flashed respectfully, saying yes. He said softly to the Soul Eater in the small pavilion in the woods. That's fine, but it's a pity Xun'er. This girl has been frowning ever since she came back. Not long ago, she was asked to settle her karmic relationship. I hope she is lucky. By the way, what happened to the Demon Emperor? After the breath, the Lord of Soul Eaters stood up, and a terrifying aura that looked down on the world filled the air. It is completely different from the Soul Eater who just stepped into the reincarnation. Obviously, there are 3 evil soldiers in the Ghost Realm now, and his strength is no longer known. How many reincarnations he has stepped into? Soul Palace, the 2 sinners seem to be doing their best to help the aliens to crack the cracks in the plane, and because the aliens have lost 3 generals this time, I am afraid they have other actions. Btth2 respectfully said, add more people, and send another person to contact the Demon Emperor. Next, we will gather some power, and we will also have the power to explore the secrets of the disappearance of the Shao clan. Quote. The lingering voice curled up, and calm was restored here. In the demon world, above a certain evil sea of demonic energy once a thin figure stands here, it is just that the fluctuations on his body are extremely evil, and it is the taste of reincarnation. This bastard, the Demon Emperor actually broke the seal, and the 2 demon towns in the demon world were disintegrated by it. God doesn't wait for me, it. An extremely angry roar emerged, shaking the sea of magic. He was originally the realm master of one of the 5 realms under the demon realm. When the Demon Emperor attacked the Daqin realm, only their realm suffered the most losses. Later, he took the initiative to join forces with the Ghost Realm Lishan Master and the Buddha Realm Wushengma Zen Master, with overwhelming power. I was going to kill the Demon Emperor, just because the Demon Emperor possessed an inextinguishable magic formula, so he could only seal it rashly in the end, but the land of the seal contained their magic of the 3 realms. Couldn't it be so easily resolved? No. This matter must be discussed with Zen Master Wushengma as soon as possible. After all, it was our 2 forces that caused the most serious losses to the Demon Emperor at the beginning. In addition to the replacement of Li Hunyu's dynasty, it is impossible to stand with us. Online. After he finished speaking, this guy was non-stop, directly using the cover of some monster weapons, and walked towards the Buddha realm. In the Buddhist world, there is a very clean temple somewhere. The overall golden Buddha light emerges in the temple, and the evolution of countless Zen sounds washes away the filth in people's hearts, making people's eyes shine. The evil cloud has appeared, and the war is imminent. I am afraid that this prosperous world will not be prosperous for long. The poor monk has done many mistakes in the past. If you want to pay for your life, let the poor monk come. Amitabha, sin is sin. In addition, the ** world, the fairy world, the human world, and even the underworld are extremely quiet, and under this quiet twists and turns, some unknown conspiracies are slowly brewing. Full book. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 1948. Xiao Yan's realization of immortality and immortality is obviously not something that can be accomplished overnight, and when he felt it, the soul jade that had been forgotten for several years in his body clearly had a very strange beating. This is the soul jade that was originally used to record the opening of the ancient emperor's cave in the Doqi continent. Since the 5 emperors broke through the sky, they each left a trace of soul power on it, so they could sense it. At this time, a trace of soul power above the soul jade jumped violently, and it was clearly a figure named Xun'er. At the same time, when soul jade was restless, there were quite bad things happening on Douyin continent. Douyin continent is vast, and at this time, the core area is filled with 7 major races, and it is in the territory of the ancients. Because the ancients are in the forefront of the 7 ancient races, they now occupy a spiritual vein full of energy in the core area of Douyin continent. The mountain peaks are slowly intertwined, and the entire spiritual veins form a rather mysterious ancient pattern. At this time, the protection and isolation of the void passage in this realm is the only entrance to the void of the ancient clan. Why are you here again? At this time, a few rather lazy ancient guards loomed over here, guarding the huge territory of the ancients behind. When he saw a man and an old figure coming together, his head was full of black lines. Originally, a death order had been issued from above, but now the ancient clan does not accept all visitors during the special period, but these two are of detached status and prominent status, and in the past few years, they have come back and forth hundreds of times, and a few people are considered familiar. As for the purpose of these two coming, it was only for Xun'er who came from the lower realm. It's just that Xun'er has been in the forbidden area of the ancient clan for a long time. Although the forbidden area of the ancient clan has inherited holy flames, it has been fierce since ancient times. Now it is unclear whether this guy is dead or alive. Furthermore, although the ancient clans above Doyan continent had also ascended from Do-D continent, their long-standing high and sub-zero temperament made them arrogant, and they obviously did not like the people from the lower realms of the same clan. If it weren't for Xun'er's outstanding appearance, coupled with her unique talent and the protection of a big man in the clan, I am afraid she would have been expelled long ago, but even so, many clan people in the clan still do not want to see her. Hey, too, this is a little greeting. While speaking, the seemingly thin and imposing man wriggled his palms, and two rather delicate medicinal pills flew towards them. This guy is actually the son of the Holy Sea Light, Lu Hao, who was stalking Xun'er back then. 6th grade immortal rank elixir? At this moment, the two of them were also smiling, and hurriedly became enthusiastic. I don't know if Miss Xun'er is out of the customs? At this moment, Lu Hao slowly raised his head. His eyes penetrated the ancient clan guardian barrier, looked at the deepest part of it, and asked gently. Hey, my lord, let me tell you the truth. Although Xun'er is talented, he has been in the forbidden area of the ancient clan for too long. We do have a great opportunity in the forbidden area of the ancient clan, but since ancient times, no clan has been able to spy on it. There are even rumors that she has already died in the forbidden area and has turned into a skeleton. The adults should find another owner. The two guards were quite cooperative. If that's the case, then don't bother, I'll visit in person another day. After Lu Hao finished speaking, he left gracefully. Is this Xun'er really that amazing? Just walking out some distance, the eyes of the old man behind him, covered by gray hair, flashed an unfathomable breath, and muttered. The strength of this guy is unfathomable, at least at the level of an 8-star fighting immortal. Elder Yi, I must get this girl, whether it's her heart or her people. Lu Hao's voice became evil while speaking, and some bad thoughts also emerged. Little bastard, don't let me know who defiled her, or I will definitely want you to live rather than die. As for the soul, I'll just have to perform a soul wash, and I'll be fine with amnestics. There is such a woman in the world, I must get her person and heart. The evil voice slowly fell, but it was this almost perverted madness that killed his life after a long time. Even if he is the son of light of the Holy Sea, he cannot protect him. In the forbidden area among the ancients. This is the resting place of countless generations of strong ancients, and it is also the place where the unconquerable inherited holy flame of the ancients exists. This is an extremely rich land. In the entire forbidden land, countless sacred and noble breaths swept out, and at this time, an elegant figure appeared in it. Looking around, this so-called ancient sacred place is a majestic mountain range. The mountains range from high to low, and the roads are rugged. There are even countless coffins of different colors on the surrounding mountains. The coffins are full of white bones. That kind of breath, that kind of power, is heart-palpitating. Hoo-hoo! At this moment, an elegant figure opened his eyes slightly, and next to his delicate body, streaks of golden mist covered his slender waist, and the 3,000 blue silk was also looming under the golden mist. There, it's the end. Wait for me, brother Xiaoyan. Fangying raised her head suddenly, her beautiful eyes staring at the top of the mountain range, and a sweet and light voice resounded in this dead silent mountain holy land. At this time, she was very close to the top of the mountain range, and at the top of the mountain range, a golden sun wrapped in raging fire hung high. The power and aura emanating from the Golden Sun's body turned out to be exactly the same as the strange fire in its body. Wang Om. With every step, Yu reading link to www.yukanshu.com seems to be weighing hundreds of thousands of pounds, and a trace of sweat dripping from the white forehead slowly drips down, but even so, this girl didn't complain a word. She bit her silver teeth and walked towards the top of the mountain step by step. This kind of time, I don't know how long it will take, but with each step she takes, her strength, even the strange fire in her body, has strengthened a lot. With victory ahead, Xun'er obviously won't give up easily. Hey! With a sound, the coffin that was crossed by Xun'er at the bottom of the mountain range suddenly turned violently, and the bones exuded a touch of shocking power, blasting towards Xun'er. That is the power of the blood of the ancients. Thank you, seniors. Seeing this scene, Xun'er's pale face slowly turned rosy, and immediately stopped moving, turned and bowed solemnly to the countless coffins behind him. Those forces constantly nourished and improved her strength and bloodline, which made her feel quite touched. Boom! At that time, countless forces surrounded Xun'er, rendering the strange fire aura on his body to the limit, and a slight change occurred, causing the strange fire to slowly undergo many changes. And it seems to have noticed the mutation of Xun'er and the countless coffins above the mountain range. The golden sun wrapped in the raging fire on the top of the mountain range is also slowly watching this shadow, and an unquestionable divine power swept out. That kind of power is the fluctuation of the holy flame, and from this fluctuation alone, it is definitely the top 10 holy flames. Just waiting for Xun'er to completely subdue and inherit this holy flame, I am afraid it will still take a lot of time. But at that time, the strength and status of this girl will probably have the absolute right to speak among the ancients in an instant. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 1949. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, more than half a year has passed. For half a year, Xiao Yan has been in a very special state. With the help of immortal fire and immortal flame, he can clearly feel that the birthplace of immortality and immortality comes from the stone tablet in front of him. However, no matter how much Xiao Yan racked his brains, he couldn't spy on it. However, as time passed, Xiao Yan's perception of immortality became more and more thorough. This is a process from qualitative change to quantitative change. At first, Xiao Yan's perception of immortality and immortality remained at the level of immortality by relying on the mysterious demon text on the stone tablet, but it was not long before Xiao Yan realized that he was a fan of the authorities. The so-called immortality is to reach a staggering level with extremely subtle power, which is the precise control of power, and then just absorbed the real power of immortality and immortality from the stone tablet. Hoo-hoo! In the depths of Yaoyuan Cave, in an ancient forest lake, a black-shirted man slowly opened his eyes and exhaled lightly. At this time, there was an indescribable wave around his body. The aura of lightness, this aura has a pale yellow luster, which is extremely rare, but extremely sacred. Finally, I fully understand immortality and immortality. After a while, the black-shirted man said with an unstoppable smile at the corner of his mouth. The power of immortality and immortality is extremely mysterious, but now Xiao Yan has completely grasped it. Although he has just mastered it, he has not yet reached the level of a demon emperor. Instead of being instantly obliterated by the enemy, with his immortal power, Xiao Yanfeng is a true immortal body, and that kind of vigor and courage is extremely frightening. I am afraid that one of the biggest gains from this trip to the demon world is this immortality. With it, Xiao Yan can maintain his indestructible body even as a four-winged angel from the Holy See, but he may be helpless to suppress his seal. However, immortality and immortality is also an extremely terrifying reliance. After all, it is possible to destroy the powerhouse with immortality and immortality. This trip to the demon world is really full of twists and turns. The next moment, Xiao Yan slowly stretched his waist and said rather lazily, "Now that the power in his body is complex, and it is not enough for fighting skills, it seems that he must seize the time to improve himself, because Xiao Yan vaguely feels that the power of the foreign evil clan seems to be pressing step by step, leaving it to himself. Time is running out. The next step is to neutralize and gather the many forces in my body. Among them, the four attributes of fire, wood, thunder and water, demon power, spiritual and soul power, holy flame, etc. are the most important. These are my reliance and cannot be reconciled. When these powers are fully integrated, I am afraid that the road to reincarnation will be in sight. Of course, there will also be the restoration of the ancient ruler artifact and the search for the remnant of the third holy flame. Xiao Yan laughed softly, but it was filled with an incredible force. The latter two forces, no matter which one they were, would increase Xiao Yan enormously. However, whether it is the restoration of the ancient ruler or the search for the third place on the holy flame list, it is obviously by no means unusual, but Xiao Yan believes that he will find it sooner or later. Immortal and immortal, it's really wonderful. This is comparable to the three-layer bright flame of the 12th holy flame list. It will not be extinguished when it encounters fire, and it will be reborn when it encounters flames. It is an inextinguishable state that truly surpasses its flame. I'm afraid this will be the last trump card to fight against people in the future. I'm immortal and immortal. Even the average reincarnation powerhouse may be helpless. It turned out to be extremely ecstatic. Obviously this immortal power far exceeded Xiao Yan's imagination. Wang Om! After Xiao Yan realized the immortality, the power in his body returned to normal, and the stone tablet became dimmed. Countless creatures in the forest and lake all uttered a heartfelt admiration for Xiao Yan. Respect breath. Xiao Yan naturally knew that this was due to the energy avatar of the previous Xiao family powerhouse, but now that his mission has been completed, it has completely dissipated here. Since the demon world is over, then I should also leave. The next step is to make a 100-year appointment. Only by clarifying the secrets of the Xiao family can we decide the allies and enemy forces in the Great Thousand World. Otherwise, we will be wrong. Location, the consequences are probably unimaginable. However, according to what the seniors said earlier, it seems that there may be some misunderstanding between the Xiao family and the Guardian. After blinking, Xiao Yan stood up and his voice was extremely heavy. Obviously, the thought of this made his head go crazy. Decades have passed since breaking the sky and coming from the Do-Chi continent to the Great Thousand World. Among them, Xiao Yan has more or less guessed some of the secrets of the Xiao clan, but now the century is around the corner. Everything the secret is likely to be largely revealed. If even the guardians of the Xiao clan are not clear, I am afraid they have to go to the underworld to investigate. And every time he thinks of the so-called guardian of the Xiao clan, the figure of that arrogant and stubborn girl often appears in Xiao Yan's mind. In combination with the previous message of the senior Xiao clan, I am afraid that things are not so simple. Come out. The immortal and mysterious power was pressed back into the body, and then the ring shook, and an unusually cold lotus leaf floated out of the ring. Wang buzzing, the colorless and transparent ice lotus leaves just emerged, and a dazzling aura of extreme cold suddenly erupted, attacking Xiao Yan's body, vaguely wanting to freeze it. The two forces of cold and heat are attacking each other. If that force is to deal with ordinary strong people, it may have extremely devastating lethality, but it is a pity that it encountered Xiao Yan. As expected, it is the lotus leaf transformed by the holy flame. The power is really incredible. But I am not who I used to be. With a slight smile, he closed his eyes, and when he opened it, a holy heat, the breath of the icy lotus leaf directly suppressed all the fluctuations. Hoo, let's get started. I don't know what our Xiao clan did to the Guardians. Since I have the blood of the Xiao clan, let me pay for it all. Su Shuiying, the 100-year appointment, I'm here. Xiao Yan's voice was unusually heavy, and the ice lotus leaf in front of him touched it gently and turned into countless ice threads. Boom! After the breath, countless ice strands turned into scorching arcs of fire, and immediately twitched and intertwined in this ancient void. Flashing in front of Xiao Yan. It turns out that this lotus leaf turned out to be a quite high-level space teleportation scroll. It seems that girl is not so arrogant. Feeling the mysterious and unpredictable space power contained in the frostlight gate in front of you, Xiao Yan laughed. This thing is the most precious thing, whether it is used to escape or to connect to the Guardian channel. Su Shuiying actually keeps this thing for herself. But no matter what, Xiao Yan absolutely could not associate such careful actions with Su Shuiying, who was aloof and cold-faced. Senior, there will be a period in the future. Demon World, goodbye. Next time, I will accompany Kai Lin. A rather refreshing voice sounded. Xiao Yan's body directly jumped into it, and the place returned to calm immediately. At this point, the journey to the demon world has ended perfectly. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website.